Well, please drag. Oh my god. Okay, I got it streaming. Alright, I can do it.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phone. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Bork. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Friday. First day of June 2018. Yeah, everybody's been working for the weekend, but you only had to work 4 days this week for the weekend, so it's a pretty good deal. And here it is upon us. I'm sure you have lots of big plans. I want to hear all about them, time with the family, you know, whatever. And I'll see you in church Sunday. Now, it is Friday. It is the first day of June, and it is 2018. But I just, over the last 30 minutes, I ran through a gamut of emotions I don't know that I've experienced in all my years. And you know what? I'm a man of a certain age. Now, I'm not going to use any names because we don't do that. We're transparent, but yet we respect people's privacy. I know this is going to blow your mind, but I have a mortal enemy. I do. Not by my choosing. My mortal enemy chose to make me an enemy. Because I'm easygoing. I pretty much love everybody. And I thought my best friend was not my mortal enemy, but then I found out different. And so, but that's a horse of a different color and a story that I'll never tell. So our relationship broken for a number of years, but I learned today that someone has done something quite egregious to him. Some will say rightfully so, I suppose, and I say no. That's not right, because I understand the individual's motivation. So here's what I'm feeling. You know, although we love our enemy, we pray for our enemy. It's in the good book, and I've been doing that. I really have. You know, for a while. And I never thought anything could happen that would cause me to feel empathy, love, kindness, or fondness for this individual because of the thing that they did to me, which made them my mortal enemy, which I now, he gives me somebody to pray for, right? It says, pray for your enemy. Well, how you go do that if you don't have any enemies? So I guess that's why God brought me one. Anywho, I'm a little shook up this Friday morning. So I'm going to leave it at that. And you're all shaking your head. Man, it's not even yet 5 o'clock anywhere yet. No, I haven't had a coffee yet. Seriously. So, now that I've totally confused you and you're scratching your head going, yeah, we knew someday the men would come and take him to the rubber room. But no, I'm serious. I'm speaking from my heart. You've been in relationships. You've loved people. You've hated people. You know, I just didn't know there was a road back from the hate part, but you know what? By the grace of God, there is. All the venom and vitriol I felt in my system, it's just washed out. Now, am I going to go jump in his lap and play kissy face? No. But I'll pray even harder, but I'll pray in a different direction. Because as much as we may not agree with somebody on something, we don't want to see them hurt, do we? No. That's not Christian. So, and what is Christian? Well, that's something we're going to talk about in the coming weeks. Binance, one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges, has announced it is launching a $1 billion social impact fund to foster the growth of blockchain and cryptocurrency startups. Ella Zhang, head of the exchange's incubator program, Binance Labs, said during an online meeting yesterday that the capital for the fund will be coming from Binance's own reserves as a way to contribute to the industry ecosystem. Now, when you think about this for just a moment, this isn't the heart of the story, but just think about this. How long has tech been around? Oh boy. We went through the tech meltdown and then the melt up. And over the last few years, we've been going through this thing where Silicon Valley is practically minting a new unicorn every other day. It's a company with $1 billion valuation, all right? But how do they do it? Venture capital. They go around, they make their pitches, you know, shuffling their feet, hat in hand, hoping that somebody will, you know, find favor with them. Google pitched Yahoo in the early days, and Yahoo said, yeah, we don't think that's going to fly, but we'll give you 100 grand. And Google, indignant, got up, walked out. So, go Google. Anywho, here's what's different about what's happening in the in the cryptocurrency landscape today. This is just my opinion. This is an op-ed piece, guys. I'm not reading it. I'm just telling you. Okay. We watch the internet and all things tech grow, and now we've gotten to the point where 12-year-old kids can go out to Silicon Valley and get $1 billion valuation, be called a unicorn, and ride off into the sunset. And before they leave town, of course, they sell their unicorn to Amazon or somebody. Jeff's always got, that in his, that's his spare walking around money. So let me read what I said about Binance again. Now, how many of you even know of Binance? How long has Binance been around? Okay, let me say this again. All right. Binance has announced it is launching a $1 billion social impact fund to foster the growth of blockchain and cryptocurrency startups. I guess like us. Ella Zhang, head of the exchange's incubator program, Binance Labs, said during an online meeting yesterday that the capital for the fund will be coming from venture capitalists like the internet and Silicon Valley and all things tech. No, from their own reserves as a way to contribute to the industry ecosystem. See, they didn't have to go out and raise money. They made money. That's got to tell you something about, whoa, ho, ho, this is different. This is not the same old song and dance, the same old soft shoe. Do we not teach you as CFRN partners to not learn how to trade on borrowed money? Oh no. We put you through a trial period, and once you go live with one contract, you got to increase your account balance by $2,000 before you can add a second contract. Then you got to earn enough money to add the third contract. And if things don't go well, you could find yourself back at one contract and or in sim. You see what I'm saying? We believe in powering our growth, or our traders' growth, from within, not from without. When you grow from without, that creates a whole lot of pressure. But the guys out there raising money, they don't care. You should feel the earth move right now beneath your feet with this announcement from Binance. 99% of the world don't even know who they are. They haven't been around very long, but yet they already have $1 billion of their own money that they earned. Maybe you got to be there. Binance will pour in the $1 billion over 10 phases of $100 million each, and in essence will create a combination of a fund of funds, a fund that invests in other funds. That's what that is. And a direct fund that invests in blockchain projects. For the fund of funds, the incubator chief further explained that Binance is seeking 20 funds to invest in, which each must manage a pool of at least $100 million in order to be eligible. Investments will be made through Binance's own, oh God, I love this, hey, goosebumps. It'll be financed through their own BNB token. I love you, Binance. The first project to be supported is a blockchain-powered ride-hailing initiative that was recently announced by Chen Wexing, CEO of app developer Fun City and former founder of Chinese ride-hailing app Kuwadi Dash. I kid you not. As previously reported, Chen revealed the initiative at a big data expo in Guizhou, China, last week, together with Yang Jun, co-founder of Meituan, one of the largest group discount apps in China. It's the China's, what do you call that thing? Groupon. Yeah. We believe it's a disruptive social experiment. Binance Labs hopes to work with more aspirational projects to explore blockchain applications and together move forward the growth of the industry. How noble and smart. Smart like a... Okay, let's look at the numbers real quick so Michael can give us our recap, and we can all reflect on the things I've just said. Dow, and the first thing I said I'll never bring up again, so don't ask. The Dow's up 224 points, that's almost 1%. These are cash markets. NASDAQ is up 104, that's 1.5%. S&P 500 is up 27 points, that's just over 1%, and the Russell 2000 had a 12 so far, up 0.75%. In the commodity basket, crude oil is down 31 cents, trading 66.73 last. Gold is down $3.79, trading $1,300.90 last. We got 90 cents between us and going back underwater again. In the Asian markets, the Nikkei closed out with a loss of 30 points. The Shanghai lost 20 points. And the Hang Seng added 24 points, which is 0.08% for the Hang Seng. That thing's a monster. Last but not least, Europe had a big green day. FTSE closed up 23 points. The DAX was up 119 and the CAC up 67 at the close. Mixed in Asia, green in Europe, and it's a big green radio day here in the US of A. So, strong jobs report. Is that what did it, Michael?
Yeah, we had strong jobs. We had the unemployment rate went down. Yeah, we had pretty much good news across the board this morning.
Now, you know what I used to say when the jobs report came out? This dawned on me the other day, and so I'm being very transparent here. Step back in time 2 years, and then go, I don't know, 8 years before that. What did I always say when the jobs report came out?
That it was fixed.
Exactly. And I know, and it dawned on me, I haven't blamed Trump. You know, the economy's rosy, all looking good. Not once have I said, oh yeah, just wait for that puppy to be revised.
Yep.
Maybe I need to do a little soul searching, huh?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you look at everything across the board, I mean, it all
it
promotes.
makes sense. Yeah, the pieces of the puzzle come together. And you know what really ticks me off? Oh, go ahead.
Well, I mean, you're just stating the obvious right now, and I was just going to state it too. You know, the last 8 years of presidency before Trump, none of it made sense. None of it made sense at all.
Yep. I was looking for celebrity voiceover sound-alikes on the internet the other day. Lots of people do Obama, but you know who everybody does? I couldn't find one voiceover guy, one voice-alike guy that did not do this person. The person has a really distinctive voice. I'll even give you a hint. He's a man of color.
Really distinctive voice.
Really distinctive. And I think he's a flaming liberal, which surprised me, but I could be wrong about that. So
is he in prison right now?
No, he's not. And he is a man of a certain age. More certain than I am.
I know who you're talking about, but I can't.
Let me give you some initials. MF.
Friedman, right?
I know, huh? What? What was it? I think he had
Friedman, right?
Yeah, Morgan Freeman.
Morgan, that's it. I couldn't remember his first name. Morgan Friedman. He does have a distinctive voice.
As I went to site after site after site, I couldn't believe, like, everybody does Morgan Freeman. But, yeah, I can't do Morgan Freeman. I couldn't even begin to do it. I wonder what it is about the quality of his voice that makes it so simple for these talented people to imitate. Who was that one comedian that was the super guy at impersonations? Rich Little. Is he still alive?
Rich Little?
Rich Little.
Yeah, he did a lot of them. And there's another one, something Tracy, I don't know, another guy.
Tracy Morgan?
Short guy.
No.
No. I don't know. There's a couple of people that were really good with them.
Was who's the guy that
Dustin Hoffman? That was another one, right? I think when he was a comedian.
I'm thinking of the guy kind of had like a little sort of bit of a lizard look to his face, but everybody liked him. He was very popular. He was very acerbic, cutting edge, insulting people. Don Rickles. Didn't Don Rickles do impersonations?
I don't know. And it's funny that you mentioned that about Morgan Freeman, because Jake, the other night, I was talking to him on the phone. He's like, Dad, do your best Morgan Freeman imitation. he actually said those words to me. And I said, I can't.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it, Mike.
I don't have one. How can I do that? I mean, if I had some script, I could try, but I'd still fail miserably.
That's funny. Half the time.
But he did actually say that just the other day, last week.
half the time I can't even sound like myself. So,
And
Sears is closing 72 more stores. Did you grow up with Sears? Was that like a family
you get
thing?
the Sears catalog every year. I pick my Christmas presents out in there.
Yeah.
Send them to Santa.
Right. Well, see, I grew up in a town so small we didn't have a Sears, but we did get that Sears catalog every year, and it was a big deal.
We didn't either. You either had to order it, had to send something in the mail with a stamp and order something, or a stamp and a check and order something, or you had to actually drive like 4 towns over where there was an actual Sears store that didn't have half of the stuff that was in the book, and actually go to Sears. Yeah. No, that's sad to see that one fail.
And it never failed that when the Sears catalog came out, the mailman would throw his back out, lugging all those heavy suckers around because everybody got one. Huh. Sears. My mom had to take me to Sears to get my clothes when I was a kid because it was the only store that had an official husky department.
Do you remember the green stamps? Now that we're reminiscing, I'm just thinking of crazy things that we used to do. We used to have those green stamps.
S&H.
Yeah, S&H green stamps.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and there was another thing at this little grocery store, IGA, that my aunt went to, and they gave you these little things, and then on Friday afternoon there was a show. It was like the horse races, I guess from Florida or California or somewhere. And you had these little things, and that was like, your horse. And if your horse won, you could go down to the IGA and get valuable, food and prizes. And my aunt, who was the type of person that would never bet a dime on anything. Gosh, she lived for those horse races on Friday afternoon. Thursdays, we'd have to rush down to IGA and buy a couple of items just so we could get a couple more horses, in the race. That was amazing. Yeah. Crazy things.
I wish life was that simple. Still, I wish that for my kids. Right now it is so complicated. It is so complicated. There is so much information available. It makes it like almost bad. But
and you know what's really torturous for my son, who just turned 16, is that I'm just going to say it in public. We force him to live the respectable, God-honoring life that we believe he should. We do stuff like no TV during the week, and no video games during the week, and we're not cruel or heartless or anything like that. We just believe these things are very important. We got him a phone. I got him a phone early on, but he misused it, and I had to take it away. I got him a computer when he was 8 years old, but he misused it and I had to take it away. He's now 16 and he's not managed to earn back the phone or the computer, both of which are severely outdated. And he's very angry.
He's rebellious.
He's angry.
Rebellious.
And I said, son, why you ain't been alive long enough to be that damn angry. And he said, well, Dad, I go to school. There's a lot of kids at my school. He goes to a big school. And I said, yeah, I know. And he said, I'm the only kid there that doesn't have a phone or a tablet or a computer. I said, well, son, even a poor kid's got an Obama phone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's like some kind of social outcast. And it really puts me in a tough situation. Because he hasn't done the things we've asked in 8 years to prove that he won't misuse. In fact, he's slipped and misused these things, and it breaks my heart. I wanted to have it. His childhood's gone, but but now what? He's going to want to drive. He's going to take a girl on a date. But I can't even trust him with a phone, or a computer. I'm going to trust him with a human being in a car, in a moving vehicle. And he's smart. He played the sax like Kenny G. Good-looking boy. Man, everywhere we go, little girls' heads just swivel like, what's her name in The Exorcist? Yeah, he's going to have a fine family someday, I guess. I don't know. Huh. I guess. Oh, there's people. There's other people here besides me and you. I forgot.
Yeah, I know we're not having.
Hey.
We're not on the phone, Dwayne.
Hey, how y'all doing? Welcome to the show. So glad to have you with us. All right, buddy. If you want to take it, I'll run to the creek, and I'll get by on 1 cup today somehow. All right.
Okay. All right.
You take it.
I got it. Hang on.
Got it. How you got it? I don't see nothing.
I'm shifting stuff around. Hang on. Here we go. I was just reading a very important email that I got from none other than Jada. She was just promoted to operations
Did you
director.
see? And she don't even go to work.
Oh, she's at work right now.
Okay.
She goes to work. She goes into the office 2 days a week, but they're going to change that and make her go in 4 days a week, which is going to change all kinds of stuff for me. But
Did you see
that means I'm going to have to actually drive my car down from Boston, so I have a car here, or buy one.
Where do you keep it?
At Solo's house, my friend's driver's house.
I see.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you say at your driver's house?
Well, he was originally my driver. He used to drive me to the airport and pick me up from the airport. But now he just calls me an Uber.
Oh. I gotta say, that makes you sound pretty doggone important when you got a driver.
I used to have a driver, and the swap off was that he could use my car when I'm not there, and he would get me to and from the airport for free. And that's the way it's worked.
I fired my driver because I got a flat tire on the daddy van. So
yeah, well, that's what we use down here.
I put Fix-A-Flat in it.
Yeah.
I put Fix-A-Flat in it. I drove it the recommended 5 to 8 miles, and I put some air in it. Made sure it was the proper level. And I'm like, hey, that's magic in a can. Went out yesterday to go to the store. Flat as a flitter.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
Even with Fix-A-Flat, because you can't put Fix-A-Flat in again, can you?
Well, you can. And also, when you go to get the tire fixed, don't be telling the guy that you put Fix-A-Flat in there, because then they won't fix it. Because it could blow up or something. But they got insurance. What the heck? So I don't tell them. No, I'll find one of the. We're pretty close to the border, so we have these little shops all over the place. They'll fix anything, and do a really good job of it.
That's right. You can get to the beach in Mexico in 2 hours, can't you?
4.
4 hours.
Door to door. Did you see what Melissa put in the chat box?
Morgan Freeman.
She nailed it. Go Melissa.
She did. And Joseph said, I think Rich Little used to be on HBO. I think so. And he also said he was too busy hanging with friends when he was a kid to play video games. On rainy days, we would get together at a friend's house and then play video games. Nowadays, a lot of kids waste their whole life sitting behind a game console with computer playing video games. And it's sad, and I totally agree.
When I was a kid, all we had was foosball. We didn't have video games. They had invented the chip.
I still like foosball. I think that's
I was a monster. Sometimes we would skip school and just play foosball all day at the 7-Eleven.
Well,
except when we were on break in the parking lot, clouding up the car. So.
No, you were saying how, and again, it's like we're talking on the phone. We're not talking on the radio, but it's all being recorded.
They love it. Well, I'll edit this part out. I mean.
Okay.
The show will probably never air anyway. So all right.
Well, I was just thinking, my kids,
you have kids?
They're primarily with their mother, and they are the total opposite of what you've done with Gabe. And my ex-wife doesn't pay any attention to them at all. They get to do whatever they want. She doesn't feed them. They have to make their own. They have to make their own meals. She just doesn't pay any attention to them at all. And that's why I'm trying to get custody. Going back to court.
Now, is this a new personality, or is she always sort of been?
It's
like
it's one of the Sybils. It's one of the Sybils.
Oh.
She's never cooked. She's never provided for them. She's actually never had a job.
Everybody knows who Sybil is, but there's another book that my wife and I read early in our marriage, and it has branded our marriage in a certain way because we have spent 30 plus years referring to things in the book. The book is called, everyone should write this down, The Many Minds of Billy Milligan.
The Many Minds of Billy Milligan.
Yes, you will never be quite the same person after you read this book.
Okay, well then maybe I won't read it.
All right. I'm gonna get you coffee. I'll be back.
Okay, all right, I'll do the recap. Okay. Sorry about that little aside there, guys. Just a little bit of humor, so you guys can know that we're just like everybody else, maybe even worse. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna start right now. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Friday, the first day of June 2018. Now, if you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the homepage at CFRN.net. Right up here at the top, it says sign up for the CFRN Live Trading Room. 100% free trial. User indicators, learn our strategy. Click here. When you click there, you're going to be brought to this page. And on this page, all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. And you click on that submit button. When you do that, you will be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay, if you don't click the confirmation link, no free trial. Okay, because we don't know you took the free trial until you click on that link. Okay. Next. It is the first day of the month, so I mean the first day of the month always looks kind of messed up. We started off strong, but that was only because a trade that I put on, I didn't even realize I had put it on, and it had gone 22 ticks in gold. So if you subtract $220 from this, or actually subtract about 120 because it made an easy 10 ticks. So subtract about 120, and if I'd have realized the trade was on, that's probably what we would have gotten. But anyway, today is the first day of June 2018, and we made 14 ticks in the euro, 4 ticks in crude, and 28 ticks in gold. Today, to get to the goal for the day, it took 50 minutes, 50, not 15, 50, and 4 trades to get to $107.50. So it took a total of 6 trade opportunities today. Okay. So on the month, first day, 407.50. On the year now, 17,307. That's over 101 days, averaging 171 per day. 171 per day. Okay, now I'm gonna say this for people in YouTube. I'm gonna go here for the people in YouTube. If you want to get into this session because it's a new month, you have to go to the homepage at CFRN.net, scroll down to the big microphone, and click on that. Then scroll down to where it says Watch Live Now, and click on that. And that will bring you to this page. Okay? That's for the people who are watching on YouTube. If you want to get into this session, if today is just an off day and you can make it to this session, that's how you get into it. Okay? The first day of every month is, everybody's got to do that. All right. So, in the Forex Factory, I'll give Dwayne a little more time with the Kurg. This is the stuff we were talking about earlier. Average hourly earnings, month over month, better than expected. Non-farm employment change, better than expected. Unemployment rate, better than expected. Now, this being better than expected and these being better than expected, they make sense. The previous 8 years of presidency, these numbers would be wrong, or these numbers would be negative, and this number would still be positive. So it just didn't make sense. Okay, then the ISM manufacturing PMI came out, better than expected. Construction spending, look at the difference there. They're expecting 0.8 and they got 1.8. That's huge. Huge that construction spending is up that much. ISM manufacturing prices, they're up as well. Total vehicle sales we haven't gotten yet. But this right here is huge. This right here is huge. This right here, non-farm employment change, that's huge. Okay, it all makes sense. All right, let's get into the gold. Today on the gold, our first trade right here, we got 1 tick. It was a bounce off the BBC. We took 1 tick profit on that. The second one was a close above the trend line that I had some slippage on. We got 1 tick profit on that. It actually went about 6. This one over here, now I told everybody about this one that it was coming up. The high of the bar, I said the high bar is going to be 99.2. I put a buy stop on it, 99.3. And then Bart texted me, well, why didn't you take the bounce off the BBC? And he was right. It should have been a bounce off the BBC, and it should have been from down here. And while I was talking to him about that, I totally forgot I had an order on. And then, you know, I was talking about other things. other markets, other things, reading emails. I don't know what. But then I looked back over at my gold DOM, and I was way up in the gold DOM. And so then I looked back to see where I entered, and my entry was right here at 99.3. And, right where I had my buy stop on. And so I got out with 26 ticks, and that put me at plus 28 on the gold for the morning. You can see how it's been totally flat since then. There was a bounce off the BBC right here. That gave some profit, and that was it. And that's on the first day of the month, it's not always the first day of the month, but on the day when you have all those news events, those specific news events, average hourly earnings, non-farm, the unemployment rate, and all that happens in the pre-market, and the markets go nuts in the pre-market, it's not uncommon for the markets to be flat the rest of the day. Okay. All right. So on the euro. Here we go. Okay, there was some activity in the pre-market here on the euro. Of course, we didn't have any part of that. But then when all the news events came out, it made it jump around a bit. And we missed the first trade, the second trade. We grabbed 4 ticks on the third trade. We missed that trade. And then finally over here, we grabbed 10 ticks to put us at plus 14 on the euro. This is where we got the goal for the day. Okay, when we're plus 14 on the euro. We missed there. I don't know, it seemed like today at the end of the room, you see how the slingshot was just kind of wiggling around and almost always going down. We had all these 164 trades in here. It's unusual to have that many in that little span of time. So, they got the G7 meetings going on. It's day 2 of the G7 meetings. And I suspect something got leaked, and that's what caused all of that. All right. On crude, we missed along there. Again, I don't know what I was doing, but I'm sure I was busy with something. We did grab along here for 4 ticks. We missed a short there and missed a short there. Now, note that all of these things that I'm missing were profitable trades. All right. I'm not showing you trades that didn't work out that I'm missing. I'm showing you trades that are all profitable that I missed. There's another one there. I know when Dwayne and I started this dialogue today, and he was talking about a friend that has something going wrong with him. I know who that particular friend is. It's not me. But I know who that particular friend is. And I suspect, from reading what I read, I suspect that well, he might be the kind of guy that said, yeah, well, we told you to get in here, or actually it would be way down here. We told you to get in here and to get out up here. And he didn't say that until it was over here. I'm telling you, we didn't get in here. We missed that one. We missed that one, and that one. But those were valid places to enter. And I'm saying we didn't do anything there. I showed you my DOM on this. We did actually make the 4 ticks on that. Winner or loser, I'm going to show you what we got. And during the break, well, there was a lot here during the break. It looks like right here there was a long, right here there was a long, right here there was a short, right there was a short. Okay, so this short would still be going on right now. I'd probably be out break even. I would be out break even because we closed below the MA1 and pulled back up above it. So I'd be out break even and maybe with a little bit of profit. Okay.
The only other person in my life that I felt that I could share that with was my esposa. and she said, well, you always said that was going to happen. And that made me feel even worse. And then she looked at me and she said, why do you look so sad? And then I did that Indian by the side of the road thing. I don't mean no offense, Native Americans, with that one solitary sheep rolling
that's
down.
Jada,
Yeah, okay. Sorry, Jada. And she says, oh my God, you are the man I married. And I go, Last time I checked my driver's license, and then I turned away so that she would not see my emotional state. So, anyway, life goes on, man. You have to make it go on. It seems like it doesn't want to, but you know.
You know, it's either it goes on or it's eternal damnation. So I'm just going with it goes on.
Well, I mean, right. I used to call the preachers on that back in the Pentecostal holiness days growing up. You know, if you want to live forever, well, hey, wait a minute. You said earlier, if I don't straighten up, I'm going to burn forever in a lake of fire. Now you're telling me how I can get out of hell free card. And so I'm thinking I live forever either way. Well, Miss Reeves, can you come get your grandson? No.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So you're not supposed to poke the bear. You know, don't poke the preacher bear with a stick. Did I interrupt your recap? I'm so sorry. John just rang my phone. So if you're looking for a reason to scoop, you can.
No, I was actually waiting for John to come in.
Oh,
and if
good.
he just jumped in,
He did.
he is not in. He's still not in.
Oh.
But he's probably going to be in any minute.
Oh no! If he rang my phone, that's normally the signal that I'm waiting. You know, tapping my foot.
Yep.
Coughing.
Yep. Yep. And it's 12:49, so usually he's in by now, and he hasn't been in.
Let me
I've been
call
looking
him
for
back real quick because I didn't even answer. I just hung up the phone.
Okay. Yeah, give him a
I'm
call.
gonna hit mute for 1 second.
Okay.
Snap, he's not answering. Did you roll in?
Is he calling you back right now?
No, I'm still trying to get him to answer.
At the tone, please leave a...
Nope. Still not there.
Something's amiss.
Anyway, let me go through the ES. You try to get in touch with
Okay.
John, and I'll go through the ES
Yeah,
because
go
I haven't done. Okay, so this morning we didn't do anything with the ES today, but it got really choppy. But what I wanted to show you was right here. When the news came out this morning, just total choppiness. And then it was all bullish, and the market reacted appropriately, which is unusual.
Hey, John. How you doing?
Again, I don't mean to, kick a whatever.
John. I can't hear you, bud.
But it hasn't been that way in the past 8 years. The market's been totally rational. And we get bad news and the market goes up. We get good news and the market goes down. And it just hasn't been rational. And now it seems rational.
I'll send you one.
I'm knocking on wood. Anyway, there wasn't much opportunity given our trade setups. There wasn't much opportunity this morning with the ES, okay? Because it got really choppy and then make a big leg and a big leg and then really choppy and a big leg and a big leg. So there wasn't that much opportunity this morning, okay? All right. So while Dwayne is trying to get John on the line, I'm going to go back here. We went over this already, so I'm going to skip that, but we'll go over the recap. Again, it's the first day of the month, so, and I had a 26 tick trade. That probably would have been a 10 or 15 tick trade if I'd have been paying attention to it. That's what gave us the 28 on the gold. We got 4 on crude and 14 on the euro. That put us up 407 on the morning session. Today it took 50 minutes, 50, and 4 trades to get to the goal at 107.50, and we took a total of 6 this morning. Okay, so we ended with 407.50 on the month, on the day. That's where we are, and on the year we're at 17,307. 17,307. That's over 101 days, averaging $171 per day. That is one day. I'm sorry, that is one contract, 2 hours per day. Now, if you have not taken the free trial, then go to the homepage here at CFRN.net, and right up here at the top, where it says sign up for the CFRN live training room, 100% free trial, user indicators, learn our strategy. Click here. When you click there, you'll be brought to this page. And on this page, all we ask for is your email, your first name, and how you found us. Hit that submit button, and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. All right. If you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the trial. You got to click on that confirmation link. Okay. Okay. And again, for everybody who is watching on Forex, sorry, that was a whole different thing in my mind. See, it says Forex right there. For everybody who is watching on YouTube, after the fact, to get into this session, because it's a new month, you need to go to the home page at CFRN.net and scroll down to the big microphone. Click on that. Then scroll down to where it says Watch Live Now, and click on that.
And
fill in this little form.
Okay.
Once you fill in this little form, you'll be sent a link to get into this session prior to this session every single business day for the rest of the month of June.
Let me put a little something out to you, because you're always so kind to do this when I forget, which is half the time. Go back to that big microphone page.
Okay, this one. And then the other one?
No, right there. You see where it says simply click this link?
Yep.
And what does it say then?
Click that too.
Keep reading.
And you're I didn't change the text. And you're instantly registered.
I'll clean it up. I always do.
Okay, sorry. I always change the link because I'm usually doing it while
I know
I'm doing the room in the morning.
You're doing 10 different things at once. No, I just appreciate that you remembered, because at like 5 minutes till this morning, I realized that I hadn't.
Yeah, no, I actually created the thing yesterday, and then I put the links together on the website today. But I
gotcha.
And you should just say
I'll take care of that
through the end of the month. Through the end of the month, and then you never have to worry about it again.
Very good. Well said. I will do exactly that. I'll make it say through the end of the month. Beautiful.
That's it. All right. It's a beautiful thing.
And John John did not get his link today because
was he not on the list? He might have not been on the list. I think he was when I created the thing.
I think he's not on the list, but he needs to be on the list. He should be on the list.
You need to add him. I could have sworn his name was on the list when I created the thing yesterday. I'm sorry about that, John. I'm going to open up his mic right now because he's in the room now.
Okay. Hey, John, welcome to the show.
That's okay. Thanks.
What happens is the link changes the first of every month, and I was behind the curve and I didn't send you the new link, so it's my bad.
And clearly I was not as thorough as I should have been.
No, you did good. At least you remembered. So thank you, Michael.
Okay.
And the recap of the recap was?
Today it took 50 minutes and 4 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we were at 107.50 per contract.
Per contract. Good job, man. Good job.
All right.
Are you doing planes and trains? Are you going to be home this weekend? Or?
No, I'm supposed to go back this weekend, but I'm not going to because I have to go back for custody on the 12th. So on the 13th, I'm not going to be here.
Okay.
That's my next day in court for custody.
Okay. Well, me and Bert will party like it's 1999 the way we always do in the live training room.
All right. Good. Good.
All right.
There you guys go.
All right. Bye-bye. John, what's going on today, sir? I got to get the screens back.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to say. And so now I'm going to pass it back out to Studio A in fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, looking South Mountain, America's largest city park.
You did that so well. Oh, and before
you go, it took me like 8 years to figure that out.
Before you go, Michael, I want you to look here. Now, this green candle doesn't count because this was the last candle of the month. So on our monthly trading zones, we have 2 months running. Oh no, I can't do that. That's April, and this is May. So I mean, that's not much. 2 months under our belt. This is the first day of June, so I will reveal the monthly trading zones for June on Monday. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Yes. I mean, you see how we got all those wicks sticking up above them?
I know, man. Right? It gives me goosebumps. I know I'm onto something, but we'll see. I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. How about that?
Cautiously optimistic, not irrational.
No irrational exuberance here.
Yes, no irrational exuberance. Contain that. Put it in the can.
I have a wooden keychain, so I always have something to knock on. All right.
Good.
Okay.
All right.
Take care.
You guys are on. All right. We'll see you.
So, tell us what's going on in the world today, John.
Well, we've got it's a pretty sensational day, and I did put out, and I think we talked about it. Put out a tweet yesterday or the day before saying that I expected a pretty strong start to June.
Yes.
And to be honest with you, it couldn't be better. This is a really awesome beginning for the month. I think this, as I think I said yesterday, is going to be the month to end all months. Could be a 5% up month.
Let me ask
Maybe
this:
even.
how common or uncommon is it that we sold off the last day of the month and rally the first day of the month?
It's not uncommon.
Okay.
It does happen.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's good because, we sort of did the test yesterday, and we're back on a double daily reversal now. We reversed everything we lost yesterday, and that's and look at the Nasdaq, and look, we're making new records in Microsoft today. A short while ago, I think in Netflix. We're getting close in Facebook and Google. No, I did put a sell out a short while ago. We're pulling back a little bit, but I wouldn't expect too much of a pullback here. And I'd say there's a pretty good chance that that we're going to pull back to a certain level, and then it's going to probably rally into the close, probably pretty strongly. And you want to try and catch that rally if you can. There's some, we went long some of the pharmaceuticals yesterday near their lows, and GILD is acting very well. Celgene was up pretty big on that stock in the beginning of the day, and it looked like it wasn't going to pull back, but it did, which was a little bit scary, but it's starting to recover. And Intercept also rallied very strongly this morning. It's up about $3 or $4 right now, $4 I think, close to $4. And as I said yesterday, the pharmaceutical stocks are definitely on fire. They're just beginning what I believe is going to be an unbelievable rally. So look, it's very difficult to trade this Intercept. In fact, after peaking the first time this morning, it dropped about $3 and went all the way back to yesterday's, to near yesterday's sort of middle, and then it took off again. Fortunately, my system was able to catch these moves fairly well, but it was pretty nerve-wracking, to tell you the truth, because when you see the stock suddenly drop $3, you sort of scratch your head and say, what's wrong? Right. And actually, there was nothing wrong, and all it did is it's actually strengthened the rally, and we've gone to a new high. Madrigal is up another $10 or so today. It's looking unbelievable, and
so it gapped and ran and continued the run today.
Yeah, and Blue is another one that's just started to break out. BLUE, Bluebird, it's a drug stock. Agio, I really like Agio. That's a cancer play. It's now, remember, I think I actually mentioned Lulu a while back when it was in the 90s, and I think I said this is one to watch, because when it it's going to go, looks like it's going to go through 100 in style, and it's actually outperforming what usually happens to stocks when they go through 100. So check it out, LU. And the weird thing is, I wasn't really paying attention, but something happened to that stock when it was around 90. No, I guess, well, maybe that was the previous quarter. Yeah, it gapped up from the 880 to about 85, and then it sort of started this big run. And then it came out with the numbers yesterday afternoon, and it opened about $13 higher, and now it's about $18 higher. So this is just an unbelievable, it's a kind of a vertical.
This is Lululemon, the women's athletic wear.
But it's an amazing company. When you almost from the get-go,
they were on fire, then they fell apart.
Well, exactly. I mean, look, this is a classic example of an IPO that happened actually in 2007. Got up to $30 and then went all the way back down to $2. And look at it today. It's gone up more than 60 times. So that's an incredible deal.
Why don't I have a daily candle for today? That's yesterday's candle, right?
It should be. What are you showing? 123.
Yeah.
That's where we are right now. Yeah.
Okay, but you see my chart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's correct.
I don't see it. Oh well, I won't worry about it. Let me take it to the hourly and just make sure the price.
Yeah. Actually, we just put out a rebuy on this market, and
Isn't this the one? Oh no, this isn't the one that gapped yesterday. Madrigal was the one that gapped yesterday.
Right,
Oh, okay.
right, exactly.
That's my problem. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now I get it.
So, and look, we talked about Twitter a while ago. Twitter looks very good. I think copper, by the way, can you pull up a copper chart?
I can. You want spot copper? You want futures?
Either one, doesn't really matter.
Okay. COPPER. These are my choices. $3.07. That sound about right.
Okay, you see that base that's been basing out for a couple of months here,
On the daily.
and it's starting to break out now. I think copper's a pretty good buy. Look, we had 223,000 jobs created. This is actually one of the better, stronger months in some time, and all of the things relating to it are very positive. The wages and everything like that. The market is obviously, responding. So I think, given that copper usually goes for a run, the way the market's heading for new all-time highs in a lot of things already. And generally, what does that mean? It means a stronger economy down the road. Stronger economy means higher copper prices. So I think there's a possibility that copper could really go for a pretty big run here right now. And palladium also is on its way. It's actually acting great. The metals are, they went down and tested this morning. They're trying to go back higher. The silver is actually positive right now, but the gold is still down a bit. The platinum also is kind of acting okay. I think if we start taking out 910, especially 913, we could really go for a pretty big run in the platinum. And the bonds, have dropped from about 146 got down to 143 3/4 this morning. Are sort of back up, but I would expect these bonds to probably go lower next week, as the indications of a stronger economy kind of chime in. And the pullbacks that are going on this morning are fairly short-lived. That sell gene just just pulled back a while ago and it's just screaming away to the higher again now. So we're kind of on another up leg, and this is crazy. And it's just an insane market. I mean, to be kicking off the first day of June with this kind of a move, it just doesn't get much better than this.
I read an article the other day that said the old sell in May, go away thing seems to be a thing of the past.
Well, I would never dismiss it, because we did have a bit of a sell. We sold off a little bit in the first half of May, and then we and if you remember, we talked about a mid-month bottom,
right? And
we're getting it. So I think that and we may have gotten a mid-month bottom in the metals too for that, and it's, if we do have a late rally today, one of the stocks that's going particularly well is Royal Gold, RGLD. It's been an underperformer in the last few weeks, but it's pulled ahead, and I particularly like this one because it's literally about $3 or $4 from an all-time high. I think it's an all-time high. Yeah,
It's running into resistance up here though on the daily.
it sure is. But look,
It can
it's
power through
literally,
it. Yeah, it can power
yeah,
through it.
it's look, it's $10 from an all-time high, and it's $3 from a multi-year high. So it's a little bit like looking at Lulu a few weeks ago.
But,
You know,
you brought up the jobs there, John, the jobs report, and let me ask this question. We know that typically, high that a lack of jobs leads to high unemployment, right?
Yeah.
What happens? We keep seeing, all the, what happens when everybody gets a job? I mean, could the employment rate be so high that as a result some people end up unemployed because there's, we lose jobs, so there's not enough jobs to go around. Then we create jobs, and all these people come to fill the jobs, and it's a good, robust economy, but yet there's still people that want to work. Has that ever happened?
well,
Has
look,
that ever played out in history?
Look, there's two things that came out this morning. I think what they do is they subtract the part-time jobs from the full-time jobs that are filled. And last month there were more. It was a record 900. Let me just get it here. 904,000 full-time jobs were created last month. That's an all-time record. And that's got to be really, really bullish for the future. The other thing is probably next week we'll see the JOLTS, which is the job openings.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if that hits 7 million jobs. It was 6.5 last time, and it jumped 500,000. It could be short.
So as the economy expands, more jobs will be created.
Yeah, and actually this guy came on CNBC this morning and said that the U.S. is sort of leading the world now, thanks to Trump. Lowering the lower tax rates are drawing companies to America, just like we said would happen. And America's becoming the industrial, the renaissance of industrial manufacturing in the States is becoming a really big deal.
How far do you think into the future we walk into a McDonald's, we interact with a machine, which we already do over near where I live, place your order, you pay for it at this big signboard kind of a thing, and then somebody just hands you your food. I mean,
look,
is it coming? Do you think it's coming? And if so, how soon? That McDonald's is a great place for young people and older people to get a job part-time, earn some money, get some benefits, and maybe even get tuition help with school. Yeah. Are we going to lose that?
I wouldn't worry too much about jobs being filled because there's 95 million people apparently not in the workforce.
I'm talking about robots.
Yeah, I know you were, but I was going to go back to your particular earlier question, right, which is, they'll drag them out of their houses kicking and screaming to go to work. People are going to be motivated to go, and there's one statistic out there, which is they have some sort of a poll, like how many people do you know who's out of work? That's at the lowest level on record now.
I only know people out of work who want to be out of work.
Yeah, exactly. So, or they've got some kind of a disability or something.
Well, yeah, that too.
So, yeah.
I just know some lazy people is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So, I don't think we're going to get to that point for the next few months. If we suddenly start creating 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 jobs in a month, then we might be, really getting stretched. But don't forget there's a natural flow of immigrants into the country that's virtually unstoppable. It could be.
Haven't you heard? We're building a wall.
40 or 50,000 a month. It might be 100,000 a month. It's still a lot.
I've never asked your opinion on this. What do you think about this basic income thing that's being bandied about? And I think they're actually trying it out in Finland or somewhere.
I actually think it's a good thing. You know,
Do you? Okay.
yeah, I think this.
I
Look,
don't. I haven't
because
formed an opinion yet.
it's kind of like, you know, it's money makes the world go around, and you know, when people have got, you know, a safety net underneath. I mean, look at it, it potentially eliminates a lot of problems like homelessness, and hunger, among other things,
Right.
and it helps. Look, you know, the scariest statistic is 47% of people in the U.S. can't, you know, get hold of $400 for an emergency or something. You know, I think it's a great idea, and maybe they should put a robot tax on, you know, the future of robots to kind of create a fund
Sure.
that
That's a good
that
idea.
would
That's a good idea.
care for this.
You know,
the
something
one
I
thing
learned
that
you know, we talk about how many Americans are on SNAP, which is the new name for the food assistance, food stamp program. Now this is in Arizona. I don't know if this is a federal thing or not. It may be, but I have a friend or someone I know who is the type of person. He's been through a situation. He fought in Iraq, and etc. And if anybody deserves to get some assistance, some food stamps, he does, right? But he got turned down because he has a felony drug conviction years back, okay? But it was a felony drug conviction, and because of that, he cannot get the assistance from the government. And I'm sure if they won't give him food stamps, there's probably other things, government assistance, that they won't give him. I don't know. I just think that's, I mean, he made a mistake. He got sentenced. He did his time. Does he still have to go hungry because of that mistake made so many years ago?
I think a lot of the stuff that Trump is looking at right now. I mean, actually, it's kind of interesting. I mean, you and I, we talk about this sort of, you know, probably once a week, which is this terrible, you know, this business where they, you know, you don't commit a crime, but if you get, you know, you basically get entrapped into a lie by these prosecutors,
Yes.
who are just the pits of the world, and to use a McEnroe expression, and you know, this is all they do, and this is like the Mueller crew and the 13 angry Democrats. That's what you know.
See, there's dopey and sleepy and
that's what that's what it's all about, and you know, it is, you know, they it's pretty easy to get to entrap somebody.
Sure.
And you know, for just you know, an off comment or something like that, you know, you can easily, and you got these guys ganging up against you, you know, you don't stand a chance. So I think Trump is really highlighting that, and is doing something about it right now.
Good.
So
Good.
You know, hats off to him. But I think that, look, as he said, you know, everybody deserves a second chance, and I think that should be the case for everybody. They've got to look. We've got to, you know, homelessness and welfare and all that is a big tax on the economy. But look, I was going to say, you and I remember. I think I remember this back in 2009. You and I actually talked about, because I think we were talking about the Qatar fund, which was about $1 trillion,
Yes.
and the Norwegian fund, which is about the same.
Uh-huh.
And you know,
That's a
the one
sovereign
thing,
wealth fund, right?
yeah, the one thing that America doesn't have is it doesn't have a sovereign wealth fund. And I said it's kind of a no-brainer to start one at the bottom of the market, which was,
Yep.
you know, March
well said.
2009.
Well said.
Imagine if the U.S. had done that back then. You know, we would have a $6 or $7 trillion safety net today that we don't have, and we'd have a lot less debt as a result. So I wouldn't necessarily start one today, but you could argue it's never too late to start one of these things. And I also came up with an idea a long time ago, back in 2000 actually, which imagine, you know, here we are 18 years later, which is a way of kind of taking the burden of the population burden off the government by, if every baby that's born, you know, if the parent, let's say the parents can throw in $400 or $500 or $1,000, the government would match that. But every baby.
I remember you talking about this. Yes.
Thanks very much. Well, the imagine if every baby born gets $1,000, and then and every year they add 1,000, and it's up to the to the family to try and do the same. Maybe there's an incentive if they put a bit more, you get a bonus more from the government.
You get a tax break.
Yeah, exactly, or something like that. So imagine if we'd started that at the turn of the century, how far ahead we'd be today because of that. And how much, and
we'd all be working for
every 18-year-old today would have probably a massive safety net as a result, probably worth 40 or 50 grand.
And you know what? You live your life so differently when you have that safety net. Now, some people get pompous and arrogant and all that, but the peace of mind that comes with knowing that not only do you have a roof over your head, it's going to stay there. Unless, war, natural disaster, whatever, Jesus comes. But, I mean, and there's food in your refrigerator, and there always has been as long as you can remember, and there always, there's more than enough food to feed the world. Why do people starve to death every day? That's just stupid. It's just stupid. Well, I want to put in a plug for one of our sponsors. I just told you the sad story about my friend who, because of a mistake made many years ago, then he went and fought for his country bravely, and he can't get a stinking food stamp or a SNAP or whatever. I saw my wife just get in the car to go as she does every Friday. You know where she's going? She's going to the food bank to get him big old boxes of food so that he can eat. This bell's for my wife. I won't ring it too loud because I know it hurts your ear. But well, she's a good woman. She really is.
Well, look, this food bank is obviously a brilliant idea, and there's so much food wastage and food that can be utilized from supermarkets and stuff, which they're doing now more and more. So there are some and Chile. Chile is a very it's a very advanced economy. Really? One of the things that Chile to Latin America is like the U.S. to the world. Remember,
I did not know that.
We're 5% of the world's population, but how much business do we do all over the world? How much?
80%.
Well, exactly. We're the kind of driving force. The U.S. share of the world's wealth is decreasing because we're being caught up by China and India and all the other leading economies. But nevertheless, all of the investments around the world that the U.S. has, comes back to benefit the U.S. But they could do that if they had a sovereign fund. Imagine they'd be able to do that to the power of whatever. And the Chileans did that. The Chileans, they have this kind of a safety net for all the population, and a very good social security program, pretty much modeled on the idea of what I mentioned to you. But they also benefited by investing in all the countries around them, so that the superannuation fund that is the safety net for the population, invested in outside of Chile and gained tremendously from the growth in other countries as well. So, which is what the U.S. does effectively, because the U.S. has the fortunate position, over the decades of having more money. Over the decades of having more money, than the rest of the world, to invest in the rest of the world, and are reaping the benefits from it. So that's kind of the strategy, if you like.
That's just a brilliant idea, and you're a very smart guy. But I've got to believe that somebody else has thought of that too. Someone who's in a position to has that kind of an idea ever been brought before Congress? Has anyone ever promoted a bill?
I think the Treasury Secretary, I used to have a nickname for him back in the early 2000s. I think he used to be Alcoa's chairman. He was pushing for something like this, for sort of a safety net idea for everybody, kind of a, and especially, kicking off the babies, starting off a baby fund, if you like, is such a great idea, especially if it can be incentivized so that the families, the more they contribute to each kid, the more the government will, the government will match it up to a certain level or something like that. You know, you're going to get a basic level no matter what for the poor people. But if you've got the money, and really it's open to anybody who can look, it's an incentive to go out and get a second job. If you can add $400 or $1,000 a year to get another 1,000 from the government towards your kid, why wouldn't you want to do that? You know, you'd do anything you could to try and do that, and it would be a big incentive. And one of the things that I actually think Trump is, which I'd love to be able to, and he should have probably said it on his inauguration speech, which is, it's a little bit of a variation on the theme of JFK, when it's not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. But I think in today's revved up economy, if you work an extra hour for the country every day, or you put in 10% more effort, imagine what that would mean, as a whole, for the economy. I mean, it'd be tremendous. It'd be stratospheric, and I think that's a theme, and also volunteering, but working harder and smarter for yourself and your family. I think if he should, in the same way that he pushes a lot of good ideas, I think he should say that, just to get everybody unified, working for the benefit of America.
Some countries require that young men spend like a year in mandatory military service, correct?
Uh-huh.
What if our young men were required to spend a year in public service?
Well, that's probably, I think they could do that.
He could maybe do both. I don't know.
Part time, not necessarily, because you
got to
can't
eat.
really.
You got to work, right?
Exactly. But I think part time you can do that. They actually do that in other countries, and look, when they did have the draft, I think they had a lot less youth problems than they do today.
Well, back when they had the draft, that's when the judge would say, all right, pal, you can go to jail for 3 years, or you can join the Army. What's it going to be? But nowadays, the Army won't take those kind of people. That's why they call it selective service.
Yeah, but I mean, the military, putting kids into the military tends to...
well, I agree. It straightened out a lot of lives when the judge could tell, the boy that been in trouble 3 or 4 times, look, you need to get some order in your life. So I'm going to either send you to prison, or you can go join the Army. And that was a lot of guys said, I'll take the Army, man. But that option's no longer available, because the standards the military has for allowing someone in, you got to be pretty squared away just to get in now, even as an enlisted man. Back when I was in the Navy, they didn't do drug tests. They didn't, it was, and now I joined willingly. I wasn't forced by a judge. I was tantalized by a recruiter, but anyway, that's another story. Did I talk to you the other day about the recovery coin?
No, you didn't.
Right. Now, are you familiar at all? Maybe you know someone who has been in a part of a 12-step program like AA, NA, where they go to the meetings, they work the 12 steps, and they get a coin. A chip, they call them. Like your first day sober, after 24 hours, you get a 1-day chip, and then in 30 days, you get a 30-day chip, and in 2 months, you get a 60-day chip. And because it's a very difficult thing, and it's highly charged emotionally inside of these rooms and in these meetings, when somebody gets their chip, I don't care if it's the first day or 20-year chip, there are tears, not just from the person getting the chip, but from all those around them who've supported them and helped them and took their calls in the middle of the night and all these kinds of things. I mean, it is powerful. And anybody in this audience who's ever been in one of those rooms, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, what if? What if? Now, the chips, you go to, they're called Al-Anon. You go to the Al-Anon store. It's like a gift store for people in recovery. You get them T-shirts and books and stuff, and that's where you buy these chips. And they have no value. They're just, it's the principle of the fact that you give them the chip. It's I can't think of the right word. So what if our government took a look at big pharma, Purdue, and maybe some of the big alcohol, and says, you know what, guys, we're coming out with a recovery coin, and you guys, instead of paying stupid fines and just go to the government and get wasted on $900 hammers, you're going to put money in this fund. And when a guy goes and gets his 24-hour chip, it actually has monetary value behind it. When he gets his 30-day chip, so not only is he getting his life together emotionally and on every level, he also has this monetary, which has never been there before in the recovery program. He not only his own dignity and his family and all the, he wants to have a good life, but he additionally, if he can stay sober for a year, he'll have 13 of these chips, tokens, cryptocurrency things, and that'll be enough, maybe, I'm just pulling numbers out of the air, to go put down first and last on his own apartment and maybe a down payment on a car. Funded by big pharma and big alcohol, the people responsible for getting him in this damn mess to start with. You follow me? I think this, John, this idea is bigger than I am. I don't know where to go with it. So I leave it on your desk. You'll figure it out. The recovery coin. The money gets into the fund from big pharma and big alcohol, and recovering addicts and alcoholics across America, maybe around the world, have the incentive not only that their families intervened and said, hey man, you got to get your act together, you got to get into recovery, and it's hard to get into recovery. It's easy to get sober. Staying sober's the real bear. But hey man, if I could just do this for a year, I'm gonna have a place to live again, I'm gonna have a car to drive, and I'll have been sober on the job a year, so I'll probably get a promotion. It just takes them up a whole nother level in life. I don't know. Did I put you to sleep, John? All right, I'll talk to the audience. Hey, audience. What I just said, is this... Now, I know some of you heard it last night in the workshop, but is this ringing a bell with anybody? Let's see, Mike says Finland stopped the free money. They get $685 free income. Don't we already do that here? Shock John would be in favor. Thank you, Michael P. No one else knows anybody. I mean, we have a pretty diverse audience here. I know we're all believers, etc. But it doesn't change the fact that you know somebody who's in AA or NA, or who struggled with their sobriety for years, maybe their whole life. No. Okay, Michael P. We're a party of two. So, all right. Oh, I see. Everybody else ran out of their office to go patent the thing. Okay, all right. So, John, I lost you there for a minute, but does this strike a chord with you at all?
Sorry, I had to duck out for a second there.
Okay. You heard the part about the chips and the recovery and the rooms and how important it is when these people get these chips, right?
Uh-huh.
The 1-day sobriety chip, the 30-day sobriety chip, the 60-day. If the government would pass a bill telling Big Pharma that they've got to put up a fund in big alcohol, sin tax, whatever, however you're going to do it, so that these people not only have the incentive of their family saying, come on, man, you got to get straightened up, but they have financial incentive via this cryptocurrency called the recovery coin. Every time they go up and get their 90-day chip, when they go up and get that 90-day chip, they know they're that much closer to having enough money to get an apartment first and last, make a down payment on a car. In my mind, at 1 year, they have enough for down payment on a car and first and last on a nice apartment. And they've been on the job sober for a year, so they're probably due for a promotion. I mean, the incentive, because getting sober is easy, but staying sober is doggone near impossible. I know people that have been sober 20 years and died drunk as a skunk. You know, it's hard, man. It's hard. And I think this may be the greatest crypto idea of all time, but it's bigger than I am, so I need your help. And Michael P's on board. Did I lose? I put him to sleep again. Oh, God. All right. What's stopping?
I'm here. No, I'm here.
Okay. What's stopping someone from lying to get that? Well, Joseph, all you got to do is take him in the bathroom, hand him a cup, and turn your back and say, I better hit the bottom of the cup. And you know, in 60 seconds, you just dip that little thing. You can get these things at the dollar store now, these drug tests. And they work. If you want to know if your son's smoking pot, have him pee in a cup. It's that simple. That's how you know. Okay. All right, back to you, John.
So, just to give a roundup of the markets, we actually might have done around about this time is usually when we have a bit of a pullback. So I think we are going to have a little bit of a pullback here. We've kind of edged higher while we've been on, but it looks like we'll pull back a bit now. So I would watch for.
Are you talking about crude? Did you say crude?
No, just on everything. Yeah, we did okay with the crude. Actually, we put a buy in. We put a buy in a 66.20 this morning after being short, and it did pop up to 66.70. It's back down, but the products. I think we put a buy at around actually 213.80 and 217.80 or something like that on the products, and they're both up about a point right now. So that's not better than a poke in the eye.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. We attempted to pull back to the VBC, couldn't do it. Red and falling. If we drop to 65.63, we're gonna lose 50 cents in crude. That'll take us to 63. I have no doubt about it. We just need to drop. Let's go 60. But in fact, I'll make it an official radio trade. Consider selling 65.60. Stop. Target. Let me say it again. So 65.50, stop. Target 63. That's a $2,500 per contract trade. And put your stop at, hang on. Put your stop at 67.60. It doesn't get much sweeter than that. So.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like it's and the crude came out with it was down 3 million barrels, but it's still going down. So it definitely, in spite of the strength of the market, it looks like crude might be headed lower here.
I'm sorry, guys. I made a mistake in my calculation. This is a $3,000 per contract move from here to there.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it's going to happen,
from
but
65 to 63. Oh, that's 2,000. But we're at 66. Yeah. Okay. So this is a $3,000 per contract move on tap. It could happen today, and it could, protract out into Sunday night. I don't know, guys. If you're a trader, you don't take this. I mean, I'm not saying it's a slam dunk. There's no such thing as an absolute in trading, or very few. I got a couple, but just now it could find support right here. But if it does, it's just going to go back, kiss the BBC, and then it's going to drop. Look at this slope right here, and look how flat this is. Going down, doobie, down. Wish I had some money. God, I'd trade that. All right. Well, thank you for bringing that to my attention, Mike B. Yeah, I know I could put a fib on it, but I know it'll probably bounce at each fib, but this is. I'll show you guys what Mike's talking about. He wants me to point out the places along the way that it could run into support. and he's absolutely right. Oh, we're already at the 62. So if it, oh my gosh, so much more. Do I believe in what I just said?
Yeah, no, it's already tanking.
Yeah. Now it's bounced off the 62 a couple times on the daily chart. Oh, that's right. This is daily. Oh, okay. So this probably will carry into Sunday night and maybe Monday. Okay. Now, is there some news out fundamental I'm not aware of that has taken the pressure off of crude? I mean, we were at $73 crude here a few days ago, a week ago. Has somebody brought on new supply? Is somebody cranking out more?
No, they talked about the Russians and the Saudis talked about increasing production, but they actually came out a couple of days ago and said they weren't going to do that. They're going to hold steady, but it didn't seem to do anything for the market. So, is
America the largest crude producer?
It kind of pretty much is right now. And you have to really, as I keep telling people, you have to take North America as a whole. So because of the NAFTA, we really are one unit economically. I mean, we're something like a 25 trillion economy, the three countries, and 18 million barrels a day between all three. So by far the largest producer.
Wow. And with this trade, guys, we intentionally leave $1,000 on the table because it should go to 62. But buyers will probably come in early and bid it up because they want to do this again. And so it might not get all the way down. That's why I'm pulling this out early. All right, make sure everybody understands. Consider selling 65.60 to 63. Yep. That's my... Now, what I would do is I would trail real tight, like on a 5-minute chart, above the low of the previous candle, that close, and you might grab another 1,000 if this comes together. So we'll see. I'll either have crude on my face next week, or I'll be luxuriating in a bathtub full of crude. One of the two, so we'll see. Jed Clampett. What a guy. Texas Tees. All right, what have we not covered? Oh, did you hear the thing I said? I talked about Binance today. Binance is one of the cryptocurrency exchanges.
No, I didn't know.
You know how everybody's running out to Silicon Valley of late? I mean, the internet's been around a long time. Tech's been around a long time. We've already had a meltdown and a comeback. But still, everybody goes to Silicon Valley. They pitch the venture cap guys. And if they can get $1 billion valuation, they become a unicorn, right? You with me there?
Uh-huh.
This Binance in the cryptocurrency space, I think Binance has been around all of 4 years. They're starting a fund, and they're starting this fund with $1 billion. And guess where they got the $1 billion from? Out of their own pocket. They didn't have to go pitch, 100 venture caps to get one to say yes. They just reached into they're 4 years old. They reached into their own pocket, pulled out $1 billion, and said, we're going to start this fund. Unbelievable. And look what Coinbase is doing with this institutional money, these custody accounts, and this Panadex, decentralized exchange they bought the other day. Oh my gosh. It's happening, guys. It's not, is it gonna happen? Could it happen? Will it happen? It's happening, okay? And if you don't do something about it, you're just gonna get run over. And when you finally peel yourself up off the pavement, you're gonna go, what happened? I'm the guy that brought you Bitcoin under $1. Just remember. That's all I'm saying. I didn't buy it, but I brought it to you.
Yeah. That's
the sad part.
Definitely earlier than birth on that one, almost. Yeah. Okie doke. So the metals.
Yeah.
If we see a rally back above 1300, 1303, 1304, I think and 16.5 on the silver. I think the metals could take another leg up from here.
Well, sorry to
But
see it
they're
dip
still-
back below 1,300 for sure.
Still under a bit of pressure here. So
Okay, last night we said to sell 1303, which was right there. And isn't it funny, guys? Maybe you're not laughing, but I always say important prices, important areas are almost always tested. So I say sell. I said sell 1303, and it drops to 1298. That's a nice $500 per contract move. And what does it do? It rushes right. It's like some kind of obsessive compulsive thing, like the person that has to touch the doorknob. It had to go back, get his head above my little trigger there, and drop again. Now, I didn't set out to figure this out. It was historic observance that I began to see this phenomena. Yes, I did endeavor to create this part, but this part surprised the heck out of me. That was a real learning experience. At first I'm going, oh, well, that's just, things happen, coinky dink. But now, 8.5 years later, I'm sorry, it is what it is. So, okay, I'm done tooting my horn. I don't make that happen. I don't make that happen, guys. The market makes it happen. I'm just an observer. I'm just contemplating my navel hair. So, all right, John, I love you. Hope you have a great weekend.
thank you. Thanks very much. Same to you, and thanks to everybody. Have a great weekend.
Okay, talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
All right. Is that the lowest zone for gold? No. The lowest zone for gold is 1279/1280. Oh, let me mute John's mic. Okay, there we go. My mouse is so broken. If I try to use the scroller, okay, when I'm trying to show you something, it actually works. Oh, see, that kind of stuff happens. I think I'm going to treat myself to a new mouse today. Wow, how far did that thing dip? Whoa, it went all the way down to the zone at 93.94. Except that is this week's zone. Son of a gun. So we dropped from 1303. I said last night in the alert, sell 1303. And how do you know I really said that? Well, because all the people who get the email are some of them are tuned in right now. Some will listen after the fact. I couldn't come on here and say that if it wasn't true. So 1303 to 1293. That's $1,000 per contract drop. Right to the zone. Bada boom, bada bing. And you know this has to be a God thing because I'm just not that smart. 1286.87 would be the next zone on the way down. And then the lowest zone is 1279/80. I think worst case, if there was some kind of rally in equities today and gold sold off, we'd probably be okay here. Now, that's rejection. Remember I tell you there's three things that happen at a weekly trading zone. The most common, we see it every day, day in, day out, can last for hours, consolidation. The second most likely is rejection, like you touched a hot stove and ran the other way. And the third's a hot knife through butter, which is the least likely thing that we'll see. But sure, a lot of rejection this week in gold. Got rejected, rejected, rejected. This is a weird consolidation. This is more normal consolidation. Rejection, rejection. More weird consolidation, rejection. And we've been consolidating here now for a couple hours. These are 30-minute candles. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. On the S&P, we said to consider buying 27.14. That was good for $1,000 plus per contract. If you took it all the way up, if you didn't, I mean, it would be very easy to get stopped out on this one if you didn't take profit there. In fact, this one almost came back and got below the trigger. Boy, it really tried. didn't quite make it. So you may not have got it all. Don't beat yourself up. If you reached your goal for the day, whatever that may be, you did good. By 24,501 on the Dow, and we ran up 150 points. Russell, we said by 1640, ran up $400 per contract available. However, see this same pullback that we were just looking at on the S&P? It tried to get below the trigger, could not do it. But if you're trailing a stop, you got stopped out in here somewhere, okay? Unless you're using the Mark Douglas philosophy, where he never moves a stop, but he pays himself on the way up. You got to be trading multiple contracts to do that. In Q by 7006, we ran up $1,600 plus per contract. Crude oil. What did I say about crude? Okay, we got a trigger. No? Yeah. I thought I wrote that trade on here. He's losing his mind, folks, on live radio. I thought I wrote that on here. I must be on a different chart. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go. So 65.60. No, we're still up at 65.90. Okay. Don't get carried away. All right. What did I say last night about crude? Crude. Sell 66.85. Well, the folks at Walmart are always glad to see me. That's where I get my mice. 66.85. Oh, that's too early. 66.85 right here. Oh, did we do it? Did we do it? Swing high. 66.84. No! One tick shy of getting, well, really 2 ticks shy. 2 ticks shy of setting up a second trade. Alright, 66 keeps you humble. 66.85 down to 60, we'll call it 66.10. So that's $750 per contract available. And for the lack of 2 ticks, you didn't get this. Unless you're a discretionary trader, smarter than the average bear, which I'm not. That's something. Gold we just talked about. Soybeans. You know, I used to be such a soybean fanatic. In fact, if you Google soybeandaytrader.com, we own that puppy. But I quit years ago publishing on it because I was too busy with the soybeans to write about them. And then I just, I don't know, fell out of love. Love's so fickle. Sell 1022. Oh, wait a minute. That's got to come way back over here. Okay. Well, 722 down to 21 1/4. That's a stop out. This was good for a couple $100 per contract, and this was good for $350 per contract. All right, we can live with that. Okay, so let me show you this one more time. The April monthly trading zones, the May monthly trading zones, and that doesn't count because last night at 6 p.m. Eastern it became June. Oh, I see how you gotta be. It won't let me put the. What is that? Doesn't even make sense. Don't tell me I can't move that one. Huh. Weird. Alright, so anyway, you all know that yesterday ended the month of May, and at 6 p.m. Eastern, the Friday, the June 1st session began. So this will be the first candle on the June chart. Okay. Now, we ran right up to the highest monthly trading zone. How many times? Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We tested it 10 times out of, what, 20 trading days? And it held. Now, again, the weekly trading zones, I've been at that 8.5 years. Monthly, 2 months. Well, I've been thinking about it for a couple of years, but I never actually did anything about it. So I've got to make sure my model is correct, and then once the model's correct, then I'll begin to discover things about it, like only 3 things happen at a weekly zone. See, I didn't know that going in. That had to come from historical observance. I say it with great confidence now because I've been watching it happen for years. But for the monthly, I can't say that about the monthly because we've only been dating 2 months, so we're not an old married couple like the weekly. Now we have another S&P zone overhead. Though I don't want to look too clever with that 34.35 there. Oh, we got 2 more overhead. Is that right? Doesn't understand. Yep. 2748/49. You might want to write these down for Sunday night. 48.49 and then 72.73. I mean, this could be it for this week, but I'm not gonna go out on that limb. I mean, 27.48. Could a late rally take us to 48? It could. But right now, it looks like it wants to take us in the other direction. If you're learning how to trade the zones, as you know, some of the partners just trade zone to zone. Now this zone from 25 to 34, that's 9 points. You won't get it all. If you get 7, that's not bad. And just ask yourself for a minute. Okay, price is at this zone. What if I accidentally went long, Well, you would get stopped out. And okay, so then I decide to go short and I get stopped out. Okay. Then I decide to go long and I get stopped out. Okay, you gotta work on your method a little bit. I mean, in hindsight, it looks like so easy, right? And all you had to do is sell here, cash your check here, buy here, cash out here, and reverse and cash another check here, stay in the trade and cash another check here. Take all that money, buy the market, cash a fat check here. That's PHAT. Yeah, I don't want to make this look easy because there's no easy button in the world of trading. We do strive to make things simple, but there's no easy. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, if you're tired of getting stopped out to the tick every single time, if you would like to learn why you get stopped out almost every time, we do know the reason. We have the tools and the knowledge which, if you apply yourself, there is a high probability that you can learn how to trade. There may never be a book written about you or a movie made, but you could probably buy groceries and pay your mortgage. But that's not going to happen overnight. I get calls sometimes. hey man, teach me how to trade because I lost my job and I only got enough money to carry me for 2 months. No, 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 brother. You need to go to Piggly Wiggly, fill out an application, and get a job. Once you take a selfie in your white shirt with your name tag, Piggly Wiggly, on there, then I'll teach you how to trade. Once I know you're gainfully employed, I can pay your bills. But I can't go to bed with that on my shoulders every night. You know, Fred out there in East Tupalopa blew up his account today and got fired last week. Oh boy, no. And when you come to us, I mean, here's why you can't get rich overnight. Because we don't even let you trade live until you first prove yourself in the simulator. I take that back. That's the law of the land. It's your money. You can do whatever you want. We tell you to use a hard stop. We can't make it. We can't come to your house and sit on your chest and make you use a hard stop. We can't make you put together 10 days in a row in sim before you go live. But we sure tell you over and over and over. And if you're not willing to do that, you're doomed to become part of the 90% and not part of the 10%. You see, believe it or not, accept it or not, 90% of people who want to learn how to trade fail. Is it because they're stupid? Oh no. They're some of the smartest people in the room. Lazy? Oh. What's the problem then? Why do 90% fail? Because they don't have a personal mentor. They do not have someone to take them by the hand and teach them and be patient with them and walk them through the bad days and pull them back down to earth on the awesome days. They don't have that. Because there's very few people out there capable of doing that who are willing to do that. I mean, come on, if you could be golfing or on vacation with your family in Hawaii, well, maybe not Hawaii with all that lava, why would you want to sit in an office all day talking about, people who want to be traders? Why would you do that? We all should seek out whatever point and purpose God has in life for us. Since I decided at 37 that I was going to do what he asked me to do, 5 years later I find myself standing in Africa sweating like a wildebeest, and I'm looking up going, I didn't know you would take that literally, God, but yeah. And so now I'm here, and I have been since 2005. And sometimes, when I say my prayers before I fall asleep, I look up and go, are we done yet? Are we done? And he just laughs, you know how God does. He says, no, boy, you long way from being done. All right, see you in the morning. I don't sound unhappy, do I? I laugh, I joke, I cajole. Some days I'm human, right? God gave us all these different emotions, and don't stuff your emotions. If you're sad, be sad. If you're grieving, grieve. If you're happy, dance. Dance like nobody's watching. If God had not wanted you to experience these different emotions, I don't think he would have given them to you. And people end up in mental hospitals and jumping off buildings and doing all kinds of horrible things. Teenagers, kids cutting themselves. Oh man, that's so sad. Because they don't express what they're feeling. And maybe you don't have anyone around you that you can really talk to. If that's the case, you need to go find somebody. Okay? I had a really good friend. He was a doctor, and he was also a drug addict. And it's pretty easy to be a drug addict when you're a doctor because you got the prescription pad. And I went to see him, and his wife said, "You haven't heard?" I said, "Heard what?" "He's gone." "Well, where'd he go?" She started crying. I'm like, oh my God. He'd been clean and sober for a pretty good while. And one day, he got on the phone, called the supplier back east, and ordered I don't know if it's a case, a carton, a box, a sack, I don't know, of Demerol. Came FedEx the next day, goes in the back room, lays it down on the table, fills the thing up. Now, I 100% do not believe that he intended to take his life. But that's how many addicts die of overdose, is because they've been sober for a while. Their tolerance is not what it used to be. So maybe you used to could, shoot up a $50 bag or something, or whatever it is. But you can't now, a $10 bag and knock you on the heels because you've been clean for a long time. The last words he said to me, I had gone to see him about a month before. What a great guy, Dr. Mark. He said, "Dwayne, I know you come and see me every month, and we sit and we talk, and I appreciate it, and I enjoy it." He said, "But, I'm not exactly qualified to talk to you about some of the issues that we discuss." I said, "So you don't want me to come see you anymore?" He's like, "No, I don't mean that." He goes, he says, "I got some friends." He says, I know you're one of those born-again Christians. He was a Jew. I know you're one of them born-again Christians, but will you go to this one place? He told me where, and I said, well, what is it? He said, they're Franciscan monks. I go, what? And he said, please go talk to him. Please. And then he ordered up the crap load of Demerol, and that was it. Had a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old son, and a beautiful wife. Miss you, Mark. All right, I'm going to wrap it, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in all week long. It's been a great week. The trading opportunities continue to abound. Please make hay while the sun shines. It is the weekend, so I'm going to hold you accountable. Do spend quality time with your family, or I'm coming to your house. And I'll see you in church on Sunday. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and in His grace. I'll see you at the bell. This one's for you, Mark.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.